Sandra, right now a judge is hearing arguments in Moscow, Idaho to permanently block the release of crime scene photos from the house where Bryan Kohberger murdered 4 college students. Let's bring in Donna Rotuno, a Fox News contributor. She's also a criminal defense attorney. Donna, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So, an attorney representing several of the victims' families says crime scene photos and videos should be off limits to the public. I want to play that perspective and I'll get you to react.
Sure.
It is factually inaccurate to say that the bodies were entirely blurred. Blood, as a biological fact, is part of the body. There are portions of these images that show, without any blurring, pools of blood, splattered blood, dried blood, smeared blood.
Donna, should the court be sympathetic to what the victims' families want in this case?
I do think the court should be sympathetic in this situation and in all situations. What the court has to do is they have to weigh this balancing test between what is appropriate for the public to see and what really should fall under privacy rights of the victims and their families. And that's what they're going to do here. And we have already received a plethora of information in this case. Different things are coming out every day. And, you know, I think the hard part is if you look at it and think, well, if we had a trial, these images would have been shown to the jury. And then sometimes even a judge determines that certain pieces of evidence that are shown in a courtroom do not go back to the jury room because they are too inflammatory or they are too horrific. And so in this situation, given the fact that there was not a trial, we have to look at what is the need for these things to be released? What is the purpose? Are we learning anything from it? Are we gaining anything from it? Or does it become this voyeuristic look into the most horrific night of all of these families' lives? So I do think the judge will weigh that, and I do think that there will be a limitation on evidence that is released.
I want to play a clip from the state's attorney to be fair, and I'll get you to react to that.
Sure.
Whether I personally, whether anyone personally thinks these images should be released or not, the city has a duty under the statute to release them on request, unless an exception applies. And as even Mr. James acknowledged, the city doesn't get to ask why.
Do you worry releasing the videos and images will give this killer fame and perhaps inspire somebody who's deeply disturbed seeing these images?
Well, sure. Every time we have a case like this, we have to look at who is it inspiring, who is coming out of the woodwork and potentially wanting to become a copycat or following in the footsteps of. In terms of giving him fame, his face has been on the news every day for years, and I don't know if fame and infamy are the same, but he's definitely not a liked character. He is not someone that I think anyone or the majority want to aspire to be. So I think looking at this, we have to really look at it in the lens of what is the benefit. And I agree with the government that when a request is made under the law, they have to honor that request. And that's the reason this court proceeding was brought, because the government was doing what they are supposed to do until a court steps in and puts some type of parameters on the evidence.
It would seem to be that this court hearing would be relatively cut and dry. Either you release or you don't. Do you expect a quick decision from the bench?
I think it will be fairly quick, and I think it's going to be a limited injunction. I think it's going to be limited to certain pieces of evidence for certain reasons, or the government will have to redact certain pieces of information. It's just like if you send a FOIA request to a government agency, you don't get carte blanche information. You get information that is blacked out, that is unable to see, and so I think that's more along the lines of what we will see here.
Donna Rotuno, great to have your analysis today. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.